So somebody asked a question and they said, Nate, what do you do? And it made me think for a second. I was like, if I have to tell you that, then maybe I'm not doing my job good enough. And that may not be the case, but that's just something I was thinking about. So how would I do a better job of explaining what I do? Because the more that I can explain it, the more people I can help, the more people I can connect with, and the more value what I do offers. So for instance, I'll start from the top. And this in my hand is called a predictive index. And it is an assessment that puts me around things like self-concept, my synthesis and visualization of self. And my spectrum is typically rare, but I'm going to go through it to explain what I do, because we take these cognitive and behavioral assessments and we use an API to integrate them into a workforce management system that we've designed that takes the data, and then the companies enter in jobs and they put tags on the jobs. And the freelancers who best match the personality types and culture of the companies that are putting the job boards up are then put together, and then the probability of them being a success is then generated. So if John is a 97% match versus Tim, and then all of a sudden Kelly comes in and she's a 100% match, it'll put them in 3 rows. So 100% match at the top, 97, say 79, whatever it is. And we'll say, hey, to the company, this is your best fit. And they may be more expensive, or they may not be. But this is your 2 other fits that will likely work. But this is all based on data. And here's an example. So I went to one workplace for a big pitch, and I wanted to figure out what the best way to create a presentation was. And they didn't even care about my presentation because they saw this. And what it says is Nathan's PI pattern is extremely wide, which means that his behaviors are strongly expressed and his needs are very strongly felt. So Nathan will most likely express the following behaviors. Strongly venturesome in taking risks and focusing on the future. He's almost exclusively concerned with where he's going rather than either how he'll get there or where he's been. Very adaptable, solves problems as they occur rather than through advanced planning. That's so true that it's almost scary. Another one. Casual with the rules, focused on the goal, not how to get there, willing to bend the rules, delegates implementation details. Unworried and unhurried, takes each day as it comes with little planning for what might happen, particularly given the predictable routines he's built into his life. Extremely informal, extroverted and outgoing, gets familiar very soon after you meet him, communicates effusively, flexibly, and engagingly, draws others into the conversation. If you know me, God, that's creepy. But how did this test that only took 6 to 8 minutes figure out so much about me? Because it's from data from thousands of other individuals and people out there, and the way that you answer the questions and things that you do can be understood so that they can predict the outcomes of your behavior. So we took it a step farther. We took an API that pulls that data in to predict who the baseline of who you are as an individual are, and then we now created a real-time feedback loop. So we can say personality types X, Y, and Z tend to clash with these ones when put in these situations. So we're collecting real-time data on how they perform in the workplace and how well they perform with each other by creating an infinite review cycle where the employee reviews their peers, their manager, and they review the project as a whole. And everyone does this. So you get a 360-degree view of how the project's going, if it's on time, who's not, but also how well they collaborate as in their viewpoints of each other. So that is essentially what we do, and we do it all from a centralized dashboard that you open up here on your computer and you can work and you can see other people that are online, you can instant message them, and when you're on the go, we're gonna have a mobile app coming out in about 2 months that's gonna allow you to then have everyone on the go in the palm of your hand so you can see where your projects are and what you're doing. And this is why we're flying to Lisbon, Portugal for Web Summit, which is the largest conference in the entire world, because we want to show people like, hey, this is the future. The future of work is no longer in the hands of the corporations that want to delegate opportunity to the ones that they see the best fit within their own eyes. What if we create a purpose-driven hiring process where companies are matching people with the opportunities that are like launch pads to their real success, which ultimately turns into success for the company as well, because you're investing in your people and not just commoditizing them. So that's my vision, and that's ultimately the future of work.